The anchor holds, though the ship is battered.
Apostle Derek Sarpong, popularly known as Pastor Derek, was born on 15 December 1954 at Antwa in the Ashanti region.
Nenkwara abrim no ya kwara bia ne hojo ope ensankwa se asamo a obek afesu ope se otizu ma wosere
asem bia na omne ne beka ohu ya akyerewa no de bibia fo no de yi ofrim obetimi asere wo saa wa obofu no na wajai
ope school ko o nani je enyamsem ho
ose o makwan no obafia se me din semoni bia obe make sure say me discipline obetwemaso
nam se gugu na ngonto mre so ye tene mankani no wosoro no se ye tunu form na ade nam se ye se we yaso nam se o ma o mu ni munyansa te se wono de o mu se ye tene wo esoro nam se
na ose kwa na what are you doing no actually me say point to the door nam say I'm doing to the pointing to the door o de hurumia me nyine ye nyina na o de hurumi
ni din a ye de to no pa ne papa din a wo de to no na brofo din ene Isaiah o ko school duru animu kakra afi de obeka kire ye say Isaiah ye nkokrafo din ti wa fa Derek ena ne papa ka kire ne say onimu ne enti a ye de Isaiah no to no efise o wodwumadie bi edima Awurade eni nti ne ye de sa din Isaiah no eto no wasesa ne din Derek na ne Awurade de suma asa o meye de obeye
na kwaku ye obi a na wo leadership qualities pa ye kwa woji wo ka akire bo mo den ase wa bre kro obetwetwa wasemu nyina mu ni kai ansa na maba
nti so makwan na obafia ye card ni besi a na mani age brakwaku aba me fa ne bag de kofie pe na me wura ho na opanyum so oye gifted ewo musical instruments ho
obesere wo saa te se bibi obeya de ode besere wo
ne mranti bremu no na ope life no odi ne huni oye very disciplined
edru won na se amana bi de da form ho nam se kwaku na amana ye de da form ho yenso eno so ye den na o se wo nko papa kwa ye mu da na wo hu na amana na wo bisa wo hwene bebu egum nti se so wo hwene enkasa o se wo ma beba oba na efiri ha na ye ko nam se jo
na opaking kan pa nso ona kire me twi kinkan efi se mi so no ye kwa asore a na ye ko presby no ono na no kinkan bible those days no
oba na wo sere school no me maame eton apreferensa emo eni banku enti ono na oton apreferensa no na okotena ho na menamfo no kotobia ombo si fortune unu edi entimu odende ye to a wonto sokra na mko ka kire ne se kwaku imesi ne sa preference no eya ato omo so wasehwe ada ompesa maame boka na uba de woto no eno a na metia mon
nya me kai pa wona ho se me started secondary school no oya gifted inti trousers ni suit a medical secondary school no white suit ono na pam maame minim kwa kra ofa so a osuya pam fi se sabre no ko school.
He had a secondary education at the Presbyterian Secondary School, Bichim, Prempeh College, Kumasi, and Ghana Secondary Technical School, Takrady.
He joined us at Bichim, Bichim, Presby Secondary School in about 1970.
Na o GSTS e Takrady.
He gained admission to the University of Ghana, Legon, between 1977 and 1980, where he studied geology and mathematics. Having responded to the call to full-time ministry while at the university, he was ordained in 1981. He was then introduced to the GRM branch on Legon campus by brother Esumin Brempong, who was his schoolmate at Bechem Secondary School. It was clear from the onset that he had come with a lot of joy and zeal.
My early remembrance of him was when himself and Patrick Ano, PMK, joined our team in Legon.
We met on the campus of the University of Ghana, Legon.
I have known Derek Sarpong since 1979. When he came to Legon, we became friends, and one thing that was common to us was that we were all born in December. But I was 5 years older than him, and he was 5 days older than me.
I met him at the university. I can't be definite about the exact time, but I know that he was 1 year behind me at the university. So that may be about 78 or 79, thereabouts.
In the middle of the 70s, about 77, when he came to the University of Ghana, they're going to pursue a bachelor's degree in geology. We met again, and then through our connection and contact, we brought him to the Gospel Revivers ministry.
He entered the ministry with all vim.
Very active in the service of the Lord on campus.
Whenever we had any convention or any crusade or any outreach, they were behind the scenes carrying instruments, joyfully serving.
Apostle Derek got married to Mina in July 1986. The marriage was blessed with 3 sons and a daughter. During these 32 years, the family enjoyed the services of a devoted father who brought the children up in the fear of the Lord. He also taught them to work hard and never give up in the face of challenges. Pastor Derek's family will never forget the multiple roles he played in the home: a cook, carpenter, tailor, an electrician, farmer, be it vegetable farming, poultry farming, and above all, mushroom farming. He was also a musician, and traces of this runs through all the children.
Daddy, as he was affectionately called by his nuclear family, was my best friend, apart from being my husband.
Daddy is my hero. My carpenter, my tailor, my barber till class 6. Cook, anything you can think of.
People called him PD, Apostle Derek Sarpong. To me, he was Superman. Daddy could do everything.
Daddy, my father, was a good man.
We shared a lot of difficult and happy and sad moments together.
From making the beds we slept on as children, to the chairs we sat on, to the school uniforms we wore to school. And I'll never forget his very hot shito he used to make when you eat wache, which every spoon of the shito had to go with a sip of water.
Every time I spoke to him on phone, 9 out of 10 times you'd hear him say these words, because he always believed that God was capable of doing anything.
Where I am today, I'll say that he played a very important role, because at the time that I wanted to go and do my master's program at Tech, I had just had a baby, so I was planning to defer, but he said no, you can do it, and he was ready to take care of the baby while I was away, and that is what helped me to go through the program.
No matter the situation, he would keep pushing. sometimes those around him felt like he should just give up, but he always used to say the greatest mistake in life was to give up.
I am who I am today because of Daddy. I remember when I was applying for the university, I wanted to read biomedical engineering, and he sat me down and told me, "You are not a science student." At first, it was very hard to swallow, but he told me that I know you more than you know yourself. You love to read. You are able to memorize things. You are someone meant for the arts, not for the sciences.
He preached at my wedding, and one thing he said was that the best gift I could ever give my children was to love their mother. And it has stuck with me. And it's something I saw him do, because it's a gift he gave me as a son. He gave all of us as children, because we saw him live that life of the sermon he preached.
As children, we didn't have much, but he always made us feel like we had a lot. He was a person who knew how to do almost everything, so we did not feel like we lacked anything.
Daddy would always say, think solutions. He would never take an excuse. Sometimes it was very annoying, but he would always tell you to think solutions. There was never, it can't be done with regards to Daddy. Everything could be done. And the first scripture I learned as a kid was Luke 1:37, for with God, nothing is impossible.
Whenever any issue came up, he would say, think solutions. There's no problem that doesn't have a solution.
He was a tailor, he was a carpenter, he was a cook. Sometimes we would go out, we'll come back and Daddy has prepared a meal for us. On Sundays, we always looked forward to coming home because Daddy would have made a dessert.
I always tell my friends, my father was not a wealthy man, and he may not have left me with cars and houses, but he gave me two very important things, and I'll forever love him for that. The first one was he ensured that my siblings and I had the best education, and the second, which is the most important, he gave us Christ.
Also believed in harnessing the inbuilt abilities of people. So at a very young age, he identified the gifts in us. So the musician I am today is because of what he saw and what he invested into it.
We would sit together and wash. I would wash, or he would wash and I would rinse, and he would dry them on the line. It was a joy doing these things together.
He inspired me to start my business quite early in life. He always was passionate about wealth creation, and he got very interested in mushrooms.
I remember when I was a young boy and there was a need for someone to play congas in church. I wasn't tall enough, to reach the drums. So the carpenter in him developed a platform on which I could stand so I could reach the drums to play.
He always encouraged me. He called me to his room and gave me business advice. Sometimes I didn't agree with him, but because he is a person who liked to give a lot, sometimes we had our differences, but he used to tell me, Irene, that is not how we do business.
He used to sew for the kids, even his daughter's clothes he was sewing. Whenever there was anything to be repaired, broken furniture, electrical issues, Daddy would never call somebody from outside except it was beyond his scope.
He was a selfless father. He would sacrifice everything for his children and for his family. I remember one time we were children and he bought mangoes and brought home, and there were very few. So I told him he shouldn't give Mama, he should give us. And he said, Mama is my wife. I will give her and I will not give you.
I remember one time recently, we were coming from the hospital and he wasn't too well, but he was still concerned about business. He was asking me, how is business? And he was telling me how we could make the business better, how we need to grow the business. He was the kind of person who always advocated for wealth creation.
Everything I am today, my profession especially, is as a result of a covenant he has with God, and I'm still enjoying the fruits thereof.
We'll forever miss him, especially when gospel songs are played or sung around him. He was always listening to the lyrics with rapt attention, ready to correct any mistakes, either in the language or in the fact that he will say, the Bible, that is not what the Bible says.
I think one thing that I always remember him for was the fact that even though we didn't have much, or even though you don't have much, you just make do with what you have and enjoy life.
Daddy, I miss you. God knows that it's alive. And see you later in heaven.
We will not disappoint you. The legacy you left behind, we shall uphold it. We will never give up in anything. We will be the best we can be. And we will live a life that pleases God. God bless you for everything, Daddy.
Pastor Derek, as we normally called him, was amiable, quiet but forthright in his interaction with people.
My very first encounter with him was as far back as 1984. I think an Usuta convention then of the Gospel Revivers Ministry. I didn't even know that he was a pastor. He was a young man, full of energy, enthusiastic, very focused, always on his guitar, playing the guitar, playing the keyboard.
Pastor Derek, we need to be a so we had say I didn't a brew unit as class. We can't channel there. Never circa can so. Cause my winter ubufuno. Became Libria. Me worry we are bare 2 years than me or do some hobby. We consider guys and be mini jai. What's to fit? No, I wanted the young one and jayo. No, we say I want no person jay. Man jay. Now I did Wallow Christo ma. Sonia Butre, the baby.
So for you, the Pebiano Pencabo Mupa. Mpa Ayaka. Pebasabasa. Man, T1 attack Ramaso. Empo adia on peno. So be who and nimpa say, Papa we munadia. Edding. Now, they were calling me who on home, they say, Openipa, or Shebe a free. Say we free extreme, free. Framantem ufri him debi yegyina opobiasem.
Reverend Derek's calm disposition was something which was very outstanding. You come to him and you feel at home.
He was so relaxed, so calm. When issues happen, crop up, he wasn't judgmental. That's one thing I liked about him.
On kasa ding oseka kra. You were too full. You were too full.
He loved people. He was somebody who talked and tried to pursue unity among the brethren, particularly the leadership of the church.
Again, he had high sense of humor. In fact, in the very difficult situation, Reverend Derek will just laugh over issues and then address it, and your heart will settle down.
It's interesting. You never know when he gets angry. He seems to have a large heart for a lot of things, which perhaps some of us may not be comfortable with or able to tolerate. But I mean, he will hold his cool.
He was somebody who has sympathy and empathy for people.
We nipa ubuadie ni kasem. Oni nipa no kasa. Obi abe kasa. Onu kwa kasa tu sani die ni different. Ni voice ni bibia se do sika ho brase. Etina
ama enipa epenasem.
He's also somebody who I noticed I know as maintaining very high moral standards. He had a lot of moral integrity.
He never complained. He was always looking at the positive side, the thanksgiving side of anything that happened to him.
Ɔdɔ sononko Onyankopɔn hwie gu nipa koma mu no wɔdɔ sononko ma nipa bia. Sɛ woyɛ broni, sɛ woyɛ bibini, sɛ woyɛ Ghanani, sɛ woyɛ Latani, kasa bia wo ka bia no. Pastor Derek, ɛwɔ wo ho abotre sɛ obetie wo.
I never met anybody who ever told me Reverend Sarpong had done this or could point a finger at him and said, Reverend Sarpong did this, which is evil. Any man you met in life or I ever met in life talking about Reverend Sarpong will tell you about his good side.
Bible says in Proverbs 18:24, there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. That indeed was what Apostle Derek was.
One time I was at home where we had just begun Great Commission Church. And my health was failing. And the brethren, the pastors met and sent him to visit me. When I saw him, I wept. Because I was at my lowest. And he came, he lifted me up, with his usual stories and encouragement. And by the time he finished his visit, I was buoyed up in my spirit.
Say asemwasi na odi akone nchen no bo ofu se dian a ukoduru ne nchen a obenya asem pote a obeka chese wakoma ebeto yem.
When my mother died, he was there with me. And when she was going to be lowered into the grave, he was the only person who detected that something was happening. So he also drew me out from among the people, spoke with me, comforted me, and then we were on the way.
During the times when I lost my job, Reverend will come home with money. Can you believe it? Your pastor is coming not just to teach you, preach the word of God to you. He'll come with money, say, Elder, this is a small one, take this one. He'll come with foodstuff, plantain, etc. In those days, he will drive me in his car. We will go to Mankrono or Mankronso, one of the areas where they produce plantain. He will buy them for me and say, Elder, give this one to your wife. And if you want to sell some, sell some. And that was how supportive he was. Not only preaching to you, but he was so concerned about your well-being.
Some 30 years ago, I lost my husband. Apostle Derek was by my side for me and the children every time. He was there when no relative was available. He went with me through all the processes, even the legal matters, following me to Accra with my little children. He was just there. What a true friend.
Before and after his ordination in 1981, Pastor Derek pastored churches in Osu, Nungwa, and pioneered one in Labadi. He was also strong in villages and worked in Sukron Canaan, Kwai, Otumi, Kade, among others, all in the eastern region. In all those places, he would hold evangelistic crusades and plant churches. His work soon caught the eye of the church leadership, and he was chosen to be a member of the Central Deacons Board, the corps that served directly with the founder and leader of Gospel Revivals Ministry.
He started his work in Osu, Osu and then Nungwa together in our previous church, Gospel Revivals Ministry.
When I finished and went to Kumasi, he was the one who took up Osu Assembly, where he actually began his pastoral work.
Michelle Apostle Acheyi Sata Namo Secondary School. And me joining a sorry na womb Samre no so for no pastor Gospel Revivals Ministry Osu branch. Na me komunu anche na ye starti na se fi e fu biase e wo Osu empona no castle
eremo na me kwaya okoto fama wo dua no ba na me say osofo be ni obi a wa free university aba foforo anko be pa adwuma bia ye no na farming eno oye na wo encourage ye youth no say yenye adwumaden emama ni je no hu ye ntimi ye madwe say me nko baabi abi metena asore no.
I remember at that time he was put in charge of the Osu and Nungo assemblies of the Gospel Revivals Ministry.
Papa no ba ye no opema sem sonko to the extent say bebia okobia no na medi na chi.
And he also had a lot of interest in people in the interior. So if I remember correctly, he started churches in Sukron, Kena in the eastern region, Kwai, Tumi, that area of the eastern region.
I used to go with him to various crusades and evangelism programs in the eastern region, because that's where he was, and I was in Accra. But I would go. So we went to places like Kwai, Sukron, Kenan, Kede, and many other places.
In fact, dating back to about 30 years ago, I met this man in my hometown after a crusade.
He started serving and moving into the village work, the foot soldier work of evangelism.
He came there as a pastor in charge of the assembly, Gospel Revivals Ministry at Kwai. A nice looking gentleman with very calm disposition, but powerful messages came from him, which in fact eventually established us as true Christians to date.
Ne modembo ene ne nkyerɛkyerɛ a wɔde ɛmaa me ene me nuanom a yɛbaeɛ no aboa yɛn ama ɛnɛ etumi agyina ɛwɔ Kristo som mu.
He helped me in my evangelical life. In fact, I believe we tried to make a crusade in one of the Kwau towns in Kwetia. Soon after vacation, he was already there in Kwai. Alex, we are going for missionary working in Kwetia. I said, Pastor, no problem. We went to Kwetia, did crusade. Then later he came again. Alex, we are going to do crusade in Koko. He said, Daddy, we'll go. Actually, he kept me alive in the ministry work.
Na ene se mitimi bie ma no kanyam sem a meka se osofo Derek Sarpong ena edimi hyase anase meka se otintim me.
As I'm speaking to you now, I'm the Deputy National Youth Pastor for the Church of Pentecost in UK, and I can testify that most of the things that I'm doing now with my church youth is what I learned from Pastor Derek.
The first time I'm in Apostle Shia War, 95, 96 in fact, just a woman in my paper no se abrante. Me did say nyamensa wo so.
In 1991, there was a painful split in the Gospel Revivals ministry, resulting in the starting of the Great Commission Church International. 7 ministers of the Gospel Revivals ministry decided to found a new church to take care of the people who sided with them. Pastor Derek was one of the 7 ministers. During their fasting and prayer retreats, as they sought God's face for direction, Pastor Derek at that point received the revelation of the original logo of the church. He was the first of the 7 to serve in the office of Director of Evangelism in the original Executive Council of the Great Commission Church International. Pastor Derek launched what was called the Northern Mission of Hope, a wing of the church focusing on outreach to the northern part of Ghana. He advocated strongly for children and a children's ministry. For him, no report of church attendance was complete without the number of children at the service. If anyone gave a report of a Sunday church service, Pastor Derek would be quick to ask, how many children were there? This was something that really impacted the new church and gave real meaning to the children's ministry. He was a true advocate for the youth. Also, he strongly believed that Christians should be financially self-sufficient. His belief wasn't a passive one. He personally sponsored many people in various income-generating ventures, farms, and other businesses.
He was a person who wanted always to see to the interests of the youth and the children. He thought that we adults always discriminated against the children.
He was particularly concerned about children and youth. And when people were excited about the number of adults who attended church services, he was interested in the number of young people, particularly children who attended the church services.
He had a lot of attraction for young people, and he also had a lot of, passion for helping people to be able to be self-supporting.
But when we started Great Commission Church International, it was so natural to put him in charge of young people's ministries. And he had been doing that. He did that for a long time. I remember our youth camps, and then his interest in his youth camps were well attended.
Because the church was very small, we noticed that he had a way with children. The children were gathering around him, and he was, lifting them up and managing to build them. They quickly grew.
I remember he introduced so many projects amongst the young people at Osu and Nungwa. Some turned to piggery, vegetable farming, and all kinds of stuff.
Apostle Sarpong was an inspiration to the youth. He was an encourager. He always pushed us to go for excellence, to go for the best, to aim for the highest heights in life.
His passion for young people was so great.
In as much as Reverend Derek Sarpong at that time was far older than any of us in the theme, he was more youthful at heart than even we the youth ourselves. His deep understanding of youth activity was so enormous.
He would try to encourage us not to look down on even the simple looking opportunities that would help us become financially independent. Those were the times he would expose us to mushroom farming, he would expose us to pepper farming, he would expose us to many opportunities that we young people often look down on, and encourage us to take them on and make good opportunities out of them.
Apostle Sarpong, Derek, was somebody who was very interested also in getting something for the youth to do. In fact, he was very vocal when it came to jobs for the youth.
He has helped so many people, giving money as startup income for people to start all kinds of projects, like guinea fowl rearing up north, helping people to trade, It wasn't just something that he talked about. He was financially involved in giving money to people just for them to start things.
He dealt with every issue in his own way, gently and yet firmly.
Apostle Sarpong was someone who hated to see poverty. One of the things he was always sad about was to find youth complaining about money, people not having money. And I am convinced that if Apostle Sarpong had the power, he would eradicate poverty entirely from our church and probably from the face of the planet.
And it made him very committed to trying to create jobs if it were possible. He invested time in a lot of hands-on activities like the rearing of rabbits and other small animals, the mushroom project. I mean, these were all things that he hoped could generate jobs and employment for the youth.
If Great Commission Church International started off with an interest in young people, it was because of the advocacy that Pastor Derek, introduced.
He was somebody who felt that believers must be able to work with their hands and have something to live on. So he got into a lot of things, teaching the church, a lot of things, mushroom farming, snail farming, all kinds of things. He invested into young people and into assemblies so that they could just raise income for themselves.
Great Commission youth, I am a very great youth. A youth with a vision, a youth with a mission, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. So I say no way. No way to fornication, so I say no way. No way to failure, so I say no way. No way to division, so I say no way. No way to the devil, so I say no way. No way, no way, no way. This is one of the inspirational songs Apostle Derek taught us at youth camps.
Or your sophobia. Bribium or Jinahoma, a threatening, so we are obey now we are obia own person obey ding and coupon Jesua or sophos upon to meaning Yajuma. It sounds a bribium or better say, woo. Sawaka se wafa Yesu se wuru na wokraje nkwankwa dia obehwe no wasum nyankopon yie.
He took great interest in young people, and he was interested in them living godly lives. So he believed in chastity, and so he instructed us how to live holy lives and disciplined those who fell foul of it.
Apostle Sarpong taught us holiness. He stood for discipline. One of the favorite scriptures that I will remember him for is Romans chapter 12 verse 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, and serving the Lord.
The first set of compost bags that I used for my mushroom project in Accra, Denta, he brought them for free. I never took the money back.
Oh no, ma miska. Now me de koje driving license. And ne semitimi kaka driving license. Pastor Derek.
Pastor Derek had his own way with the youth. The way he was able to come to our level, the way he understood us, the way he was able to talk to us. No matter the challenges, when you come to him, he's able to sit down with you, talk to you, and it was just something else.
He wanted children to be counted at every church service. He wanted children to be provided for. He wanted children's camps. Everything that we felt like organizing for older people, he felt should be made available for the children as well.
Pastor Maniska say on fanko kwan so kotongo ewo sukon Canaan emma meton
me kotra ne nchen ewo su ho me tu firi me fie e kotra ne nchen na ohwe me ko school se me ko wie me tro me me wie me secondary school me tro me nsohwe onu kra no tua ko pace ka no tua me registration fee to be me papa.
We dedicated him to youth and children, and that was the place where he flourished the most.
He wants to see the youth empowered such that they can also take up the mantle in financing the church in the future.
Adia ba ko a o ka she mitrim ni say ese o do hu tu obi so ese se obi entimi nya mawo senia openo mekano brofum say have strong belief in self-reliance. Nobody will do it the way you want it.
He also likes the issue of being self-supporting, being able to have your own business and doing what you can to support yourself as a believer.
We trained one of the church members at the University of Ghana farms, Nungwa, to do pickering, and we funded it. The church funded it, and today he still works there.
Over and over again, he will talk in our meetings about how the youth should be helped to get employment, to bring out their full potential.
Oshasi ese oya asumsa. Eni papa omodin hu hia nti. Ose Philip. Ni asumsa yema nipa. Nipa papa omodin nti. Bo modin na bajibi ne koton. Me kojibi ma koton. Kojibi ma koton na krofo ka ho nsem.
When the 7 founding ministers were formally inducted into service for a second term in 1998, Pastor Derek again became the first in the newly created position of Director of Ministries. It was, and still is, an energy-sapping directorate, requiring constant involvement of the director in the many camps, meetings, and other activities of the various ministries. He handled the position with excellence. He led in the training of child evangelists in GCCI. He made attempts at establishing something like a Children and Youth Brigade Corps for the church under the name Great Heroes and Heroines of Faith and commissioned Heroes of Faith. However, these attempts were not very successful.
Through him, we started, there was a group that we started, Heroes and Heroines of Faith, amongst the children. It was something that he piloted, something like Boys Brigade in some other churches.
So for Derek, you nipa onyamemu GT. And I'm not so quiet from Rantia, a woman, say, Woshe, a binum to say, brother Ponum, Ukumase, brother Quansanum, Ewon crying, brother Adams. Yes, and I'm also for Derek, so am I, ye team on ma or the share or sumna so or quiet Eastern region, ye yam papa, I Ukrainian memo ebidu sabre.
Me who say, Oyubia or Tina Nimpa or Penipa Semso. Na misan hu se obonsenku ahodo bebre.
He took his job seriously as a pastor. He was on time.
I found Pastor Derek to be very gentle, very kind, generous, and a person who made people relax in his company.
Many of us were very young at the time. But his zeal, his joy for serving the Lord, his spirit of encouragement, and everything he does, has a way of telling us, the young people, that, hey, we have no excuse but to give our lives to Christ and to serve him faithfully.
Pastor Derek Sarpong, share crime, pinting children's ministry and that day. My friend said, "No, what I say, and sorry, be brave. My sister, Nananum, so teachers na yat to honey be research and one auntie. And say, Papa, no, why you make us?"
His concern was towards holy living. So he couldn't understand how some Christians could not live holy lives and who could not live in integrity. He believed in it.
Every time you go to tell him, never give up. Never, once you have life, never give up. He keeps saying it. Don't give up. Once you have life, you have an opportunity. And that's one thing that I kept all these years. I tell myself that I will not give up. Even if I have challenges, I will still keep holding on to the very end.
Every single cell in my body is happy. Every single cell in my body is well. Thank you, Lord. I feel so good. Every single cell in my body is well. Thank you, Lord. I feel so good. Every single cell in my body is well.
Pastor Derek was an evangelist and missionary who knew both how to abound and to be abased. He was in the team that first visited the Republic of Benin for church planting, risking his life and reputation in some of the slums of that city. Even though in 2011 he was ordained an apostle along with the other 6 founding fathers, Derek kept the title pastor until his death. He constantly pastored many. He pastored churches in Kade, Kibi, Koforidua, Kumasi, and in Sawam.
Head pastor now, or Pastor Kumasi, Great Commission Church International. At that time, that was 1996.
Osha Apostle Sarpong, a veteran and Nasi Kakra as a regional minister, Ewo Kumasi. Na me boase as had me kosunyan na a frey bash and a brown for ne Ashanti. It one na a regional minister. Now Osha Papano
ɛkwan a wɔde yɛ fa so ne ne nteteɛ sɛ yɛduru baabi a yɛduru ne ya yɛmu bi yɛtumi yɛnya abotrɛ paa wɔ nyame adwuma mu a na kyerɛ sɛ papa no wayɛ adwuma.
na wo obi a wɔyɛ principal ɔde ne time ɛsoso ɛyɛ adwuma ɔnkasa bebree but wɔka asɛm a wohu sɛ asɛm a wɔka no ɛmu yɛdu nti sɛ wɔfa bible sɛ wɔ preach a ain't taking more than 30 minutes by the end of the day wobɛhu sɛ nsɛm a wɔkaeɛ no ɛyɛ nsɛm a ɛmu yɛduro
ɔka kyerɛ m sɛ nneɛma mu yɛ den sɛ dan a ɛyɛ sɛ ɛmpayɛ ɛne ɛde yɛ ne hwɛ na yɛnhwɛ nso so na obiara nso so antumi ahunahuna me ɛfiri sɛ adwuma no a yɛyɛ no ɛyɛ nyankopɔn adwuma.
wayɛ nhwɛsoɔ ɛde ama Kumase asafo ɛfiri sɛ fapem no ɔno ɛna ɛtoeɛ nti sɛ fapem no anto yi a megye di sɛ ka saa berɛ yi deɛ yɛduru yi ɛnka yɛnuru deɛ yɛduru yi.
2004 ɛna Pastor Derek ba in Sarpong Great Commission International na meyɛ financial secretary.
Anokwa asɛm ni ɔyɛ nipa a ɔhyɛ n'ase yɛ adwuma na sɛ wantumi anyɛ adwuma sɛ deɛ sɛ ne fata deɛ a na ebi a wankasa ne fiw ɔma kwan ɛma ne nyame de adua mu ɔde yɛ adwuma ɛmra ɔba na meyɛ elder ɛwɔ asɔre no mu ɔma kwan ɔte nkran na ɔba ɔhwɛ baabi a na ɔte wɔ nkran ɛne sɛdeɛ ɔbɛba bɛdu nsɛm ma sɔre ɛde mfa na ɛnya asɛm ketewa enso kwasie de bia ɔne na busua ɛba
ɔnhyɛ ne members so ɔma wo nso wo say anase dia wo ati sɛ wo ka no ɔbɛtwɛn na wakasa sɛ kasa ɔkasa sɛ nyimfa kwa mu mpo a owia na watenete no ɔmfa abufuo
yɛde mofra ne kɔ asɔre ne saa na ɔmo ha yɛ na yɛbo ɔma ɔhu a ɔmfa wo ho nkyɛ okura efi sɛ ɔpɛnkola na asɛm papa enti ɔbɛfrɛw na waka kyerɛ so sɛ ne sei ne awoyɛ no na ne ngye ho nti ɛyɛ ma ɛnyɛ ne sa
anokwa asɛm ni ofiri hɔ no ɛda ne isu ɛsan sɛ yɛhunu sɛ asetena ɔne atena no ɛyɛ asetena na emu edu yie
ɔbaeɛ no na yɛni asɔre dan na yɛwɔ pataase ɛna ɔbaeɛ na mmom ɔbaeɛ ne mbɔde bɔ ne sɛdeɛ ɔyɛ ade nti etimi nya asɔre dan sisi a ye sum yame ewom
bibia ofa ne serious ejuma wo ye bia ofa ne serious ofie chechi na oba sɔre bet bia all night so bohu na oba
ya papa ye nipa bia ɔyɛ ahobrase ni mi hu ne so nipa da ɔbrɛ no ho ase ɔdɔnkola sɛ wo ye program bi ɛwɔ asɔre dan mu kra ɔtumi ma yɛ mpenifo yɛ sɔre sɛ yɛ man kola no betina practice chairs mu na yɛ nkɔtina bench so efi sɛ nkola na onyankopɔn ɔdɔn saa so no so ɔyɛ sɛ ɔno na yɛ Yesu Kristo ɔdɔn kola nti ɔfa kola ntoto fam kra.
When he lost his sight in the course of ministry, he continued pastoring. He eventually had to stop active service. Even with this limitation, however, he once ministered to youth gathered for a camp meeting in the Upper East region by phone. Towards the end of his life, Pastor Derek was very concerned about the unity of the church leadership. Many meetings were held at his behest with the aim of getting ministers in leadership and their wives to be more united.
After he had his health challenges and so on, when he finally left the executive council of the church, one thing that he kept talking about now was the unity amongst the leadership of the church, and in that he was very passionate.
One of the issues he had on his heart was the unity of the brethren.
He was somebody who talked and tried to pursue unity among the brethren, particularly the leadership of the church.
Those of us from Legon had a small party in his house before he passed on. And he spoke to all of us. And the sum total of his message was that we should stay together. None of us should think of going alone, and we should not give up.
His main focus, what was the main theme of what he talked about when eventually he had the time to talk, was that we should be united, we should do God's work together as one.
Na bebi a wotin susu no ewa na mom otimi ba so de na yeka se de etikura pono anka onya so do akra na mom o se de bida de bia weba ombe so ne nsa edi aba
any fry by no so ni na na okoso onu ye adwuma fefe
ne atwa ato no kra no nani e be fry nanso no yaka se saa bri mpo na nka ode adwuma no beto ho sofo timi gina ho onhwɛ bible mu onya hwe e preachi said the sene fata ehia ware so e wo brampo ana nani efrei
eduba bi na nani onya problem with the site it say all along no you driving no ede no eko eba wan kan say ye ma no leave and I say bibisa nanso ni nyina mu Sunday bia owo ha persistently consistently kopim say em say ahoden to me ama no kwan ma no anto aso
nani efra kra ode besum no if isa wabo awrade mpaye say obesum no akosi ewie.
This is Apostle Derek Sarpong as I knew him. 4 things about him: his passion and love for children and youth, his zeal for God, going into villages, taking care of assemblies, congregations which were very small and remote, and his interest in making sure that the youth are employed and they grow, they rise up to their full potential. How he never gave up on life, saw the positive side, encouraged others, and to the end wanted the will of God to be done.
Kwaku, I would have called you Isaiah, but now I don't have that name to call. Fare thee well.
I'm not someone who believes in praising the dead even if they didn't do anything that deserve it. But this is a real tribute I want to give to a man who really stood up as a father, as a pastor, as a mentor, as a supporter.
I think even though this is a sad moment that he's physically not with us, I think his legacy will go on because I am an example of some of the work that he did and the vision that he had for the youth. And so I attribute some of the successes in my life to having him being part of my life.
Pastor spoke his mind fearlessly. He brought his grooming from the Mampong Palace to bear positively on his life in the church. When faced with deciding between shielding a friend who was perpetuating immorality and protecting God's honor, he chose to protect God's honor. As a human being, he had his own faults, yet his consistent stand for the right was inspirational.
Bominantu na neminko, bominantu na neminko, Jimmy Tata na neminko, Jimmy Tata na neminko. Me ya bofra, me dia minim nantiu. Me ya bofra, me dia minim nantiu. Enti mi ra Yesu misre wara. Jimmy Tata na neminko.
God gave me a calling and I responded. When this church, Recommissioned Church International, started, I was the first director of evangelism. Many people do not know that. Because that time, I wasn't doing much of evangelism. Anytime my people will meet me and so evangelism, what is going on? I say, oh, we are gathering children, we are doing child evangelism. I remembered when I received the call of God upon my life. I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to do. And in the vision, I was taken to a gathering of students, large number of students, and many people came and spoke to them. But I could see that after all the speakers, the people were not happy. But on the program, I saw my name. So when they called me, I also went and I gave a 30-minute talk. When I finished, the students could not sit down. They were clapping their hands and dancing. Then later on, I saw that all the shirts the boys were wearing had turned into white shirts. And then the boys told me, this is why I have called you. Deal with the young people in the church. I accepted it, and this is why I started the youth camps, even though I was a director of evangelism. I have seen that God has been so happy with this call upon my life that I responded. What I want to tell you is that bear the cross and follow Jesus. He knows you. He knows where you are passing, and he says, if you pass through the waters, he is with you. In fire, you will not be burnt, because he will be with you. I know he has been with me till today, and he will continue to be with me. Amen. You too, what I want to tell you is that be glad you have Jesus and do his will. I know you will have testimonies to give, but I want the testimony that Jesus will give about me more than what you have to say about me. I just want to end here and tell you that the testimonies that people are giving about you, they may be good or bad, but none of them comes anywhere closer to the testimony Jesus will give about you. I am standing for Jesus. No matter what happens, no matter what happens.
Will your anger hold in the storms of life, when the clouds unfold their wings of strife, when the strong tides lift and the cables strain, will your anchor drift or firm remain? We have an anchor. We have an anchor that keeps the soul steadfast and sure while the billows roll. Fastened to the rock which cannot move, grounded firm and deep.